Lijiang Tower start. Really interesting for both teams here. We've seen somewhat different styles. We have O2 Blast, not that different. I guess the core is the same, but O2 Blast have certainly been leaning a lot more on the Sombra gameplay via Pelican. He's been great on that hero. He's been so impactful, doing so much work. Looking on the top honor side of things, I don't know that they played as much Sombra. They played a lot more Torbjorn and Reaper. We're not going to see any of that for map 1, not going to see that for Lijiang, but I am expecting, once we move on to the other maps, that's what Top Honor are going to get into a lot more.
I feel like this is just going to be pretty standard stuff from both of these teams. It'll be the symmetric for rollout. I wonder if Ruff actually will play that Tracer. He hovered it for a hot second there.
Probably will. I expect. No, he's going to go to Reaper. Okay, so this is standard now. Both teams are actually playing their standard comps. Pelican, Sombra, Sparrow on the top. This is exactly how both teams won against the teams they beat earlier.
Eyes on that Reinhardt matchup, though, because that's actually something that Top Honor did so successfully against Lucky Future. They really kept a lid on TZ.
I want to say as well, Pelican might struggle if the Torb turret is in the right place, but with proper down early, I mean, Top Honor off to a great start.
This is so much of what we saw out of Top Honor in that first one. They're also going to be able to find Yakbug. They actually pushed in, and O2 Blast thought that they had the counterattack with proper pushing in, but unfortunately, Top Honor read even that, backed out, absorbed the pressure, pounced back on proper. They're going to get the first cap of the point.
And all of Top Honor's new fans right now, starting from today, are starting to believe, okay, they won the first fight. Check that one off. It's a long checklist, believe you me, but it's a checklist that you got to go through nonetheless. Top Honor have a composition where they don't need setup. They can just walk in. O2 Blast do need setup because they need Pelican in the right places, and the turret is so annoying for him to deal with.
I also really want to keep eyes on the Zarya matchup. Both of these Zarya players really outpace their counterparts in their respective semifinals, but actually it's Kaidia with a big shatter and a massive cleanup. Good trade backs out of Proper and Kalios, but they're going to need a lot more than that, and unfortunately they do not have the means to get it now. I mean, sure, second box on the checklist. Win your first successful fight on the defense while holding the points.
Yeah, get the follow-up fight there as well. Stop the retake from coming through. Top Honor, a team that, as a reminder, against Lucky Future, the opening map, the opening round, they were behind 0-99. Now they're ahead 50-0. They got the grab. There it goes.
There it is. They need to get the follow-up, but they are in a bit of a tighter spot this time around. O2 Blast are kind of able to absorb that pressure, get their own grab out. They're not just going to go totally belly up in the face of the proactivity of Top Honor. And this is actually a huge opportunity for a turnaround from O2 Blast, not just in the context of this fight, but look at the ultimates. They are well poised for a solid defense.
And I don't think O2 Blast is concerned at all. And the reason for that is because 71% does not make for a map win. 71% is a good lead, but O2 Blast have the resources. They counter grab and they survive. They use one ultimate to counter Top Honor's entire combo, and they still have the EMP. Lovely's is the guy now that has to counter that on Top Honor's side, or O2 Blast are going to get the follow-up win on the second fight.
We're going to have to see now what Top Honor do from behind. That is something that we did see tested somewhat against Lucky Future. Both teams in very aggressively. All ultimates thrown down on the table from O2 Blast with the exception of that EMP and the Coalescence. Not sure if Ruff really needed to go in for that Death Blossom. It certainly did pay off, and now Proper going to be able to run down some members of Top Honor, recharge a bit of that ultimate. O2 Blast preserving some critical ultimates, and Top Honor I think maybe overcommitting into a losing fight.
I think Neko must have booped him or something, because I didn't see Ruff at all. He wasn't in any sort of position where you'd expect a Death Blossom to be used. My guess there is that he just was completely displaced. Better yet for O2 Blasters, they have not had to use the EMP. Lovely's has also not used the Sound Barrier, so both players, both teams, fairly disciplined. However, O2 Blast in control, nearly 60% by the end of this fight, will have taken over.
I wanted to point out the grabs difference as well, because Kalios has now massively outpaced Slush. There is going to be the Sound Barrier mostly cancelled out by the EMP, and that's the issue. When there is both the EMP and the grab, you've only got one Sound Barrier. Which one do you use it against? And unfortunately, there's often no real right answer. Now O2 Blast have taken the lead.
And that's a checkpoint there for O2 Blast. Like you said, we have two ultimates and only one defense, and no Coalescence because Baxton's on 99% now. That's a tough position to be in. O2 Blast, ever since taking the control point back, has been in control, hitting about 99%. Now Pelican, he might even get another EMP before all said and done.
This has got to be the fight, though, here for Top Honor. They actually do come in with a good gamut of ultimates. Going to use the Coalescence to leverage onto the point, get the Molten Core down. Nice shatter! Finding the angle on Yakbung, getting the charge in as well. They need more pressure. They need to find Proper, but Proper instead finds his counterpart first. They do at least shut down Proper before the Death Blossom can come out, but now Top Honor, maybe a little bit worse for wear than they would have really liked at this juncture. LVLZ down. O2 Blast just finding little picks, little holes here and there. Pelican comes in, finds another one. Now the respawn is in for O2 Blast, looking to force Top Honor back off the point, having not quite gained full possession of it, having not quite charged up the right ultimates at the right times. O2 Blast steer the ship through the rough waters and will close out the first point of Lijiang Tower.
And let me tell you, there were some rocks in those waters as well. They had to really sail through that one in the dark. And look, they had a great shatter to contest again. Kaida popped that one onto Yakpong's face, got rid of him early, which meant Yakpong couldn't respond. But remember, Proper also killed Baxon during Baxon's Coalescence, completely removing that ultimate. So there's a lot of counterpunching happening from both sides. But the real kicker here is, just as Slush was going to be the member that maybe swings things around for Top Honor, he had a grab coming up, 98%, 99%, just about to hit that 100. Pelican gets the manual hack. That is going to put the nail in the coffin, because Top Honor's only real chance was to use the grab early, and Pelican stops that from happening.
Excellent execution there from O2 Blast when it mattered the most, and that is a common theme with them. But Top Honor are showing that they are not to be trifled with.
And both teams still running the same things they were earlier. Again, O2 Blast need a lot more setup to get this comp going. Top Honor can take this aggressive positioning much earlier, which is why they have that high ground now. Point's about to open up about 5 seconds, and I want to know where Pelican is, because that's the flank that matters.
Nicely poised, though, on the point itself. Top Honor just ready to deal with whatever O2 Blast try and push forward with. It's going to be Proper once again. This time not as successful, though, at shutting it down, as Kaidia is going to go down early. Proper, with a little bit more support at his back, has a more successful push than what we saw on Gardens earlier. So with that all being the case, O2 Blast are going to get the favorable fight out the gate this time around.
And Finn's doing so well, gets the early Coalescence, and the timing of these calls is so important. You see that when Finn uses Coalescence, specifically Claudia, is or you're looking at the main tank HP, and how do you clean up these main tanks when they really go critical health? Well, first you can run at them, but the other option is you get the call timing correct, that's how you take them down. Yakpong's healthy right now, so O2 Blast don't need to give up too much positioning.
Yeah, it was Baxon's turn to use that Coalescence. It gets them some positioning around the point. Nice catch on Pelican. It ends up being a 1-for-1, though, and I have to say you'd really value having Slush alive at this point, because the grab out from Kalios and no opportunity to even come close to matching it means Top Honor, despite all the work, despite the push forward, and despite even getting a little bit of percentage on the point itself, O2 Blast, they kind of have all the tools to deal with it.
Yep. This team, this is the epitome of a team that gets to have their cake and eat it too, because they get everything working for them. When they get to use Coalescence, Kaidia's on no HP and they get the cleanup. When Baxon used the Coalescence, Yakpong's at 100% HP. O2 Blast keep their positioning, and they get to push back into Top Honor when they want to, and they have 5 ultimates online. They're looking at the stack, Pelican's looking at this EMP, and Lovely's has a lot of work to do.
And I felt that the question for Top Honor has been in this matchup, how do they find it from behind? Ruff getting shut down is just, again, not quite making that headway, and so far Top Honor have failed to successfully fight from behind, as O2 Blast are just rotating through their ultimates now, looking really like they're just set on cruise control.
And I think we had a conversation when Top Honor played Lucky Future. We said, okay, they have better teamwork than Lucky Future. That was apparent. But O2 Blast have the cleanest teamwork I've seen so far across both weeks of Contenders. I'm saying they're probably, in fact, I know they're better than T1 right now. This is absolutely disgusting by them.
Huge manual hack onto Lovely's as the rest of the team is stuck in a grab. That's a freebie for O2 Blast. Might not have even needed the Coalescence, and now very little time for Top Honor to come in for what will be one last go-around.
Once more, Matt, it's going to be the EMP to seal the deal. Lovely's has had a rough game, targeted so many times. Pelican will look for the manual hack, then go in for the group EMP. And O2 Blast, oh my god, they just shut down Kaidia as well.
Struggling to make it on. They do at least get the sound barrier out, but they don't have any ultimates to leverage into. They don't have anything that they can utilize here. No grab, not even a Molten Core just yet. And so far from anything else, not even getting picks, O2 Blast keeping on top of Top Honor. Absolutely no issues there. And again, once O2 Blast are in control, they do not lose control. And Top Honor, They need to answer for a lot more if they're going to win these maps from behind.
And I think
Icon Boulder is going to be the toughest test yet, to say nothing more, because O2 Blast, they had such a resounding victory against Runaway here, and that's to say nothing of their also resounding victory on Watchpoint Gibraltar. I mean, the Payload maps just went so well for O2 Blast. They went similarly well for Top Honor, but not as well. So we need to see them, I think, step it up still.
And Top Honor as a team, you can see on their defense already, you know what the composition is going to be because they're not going to have any time to change it. Are going to stick to what they believe works. This was the comp that let them beat Lucky Future. This was the comp that 3-0'd Lucky Future, and they know this comp well. They know what the roles are. Ruff, again, is a fantastic player on the Reaper, but that hasn't been showing as much versus O2, who themselves know their comp well.
No entry frag for Proper. Gonna go back, switch to the Reaper, but a lot of early ground here from O2 Blast, just looking to power on forward. Get Proper back in the mix here.
Everyone's basically playing the same things here. Respect the fact that we've got Zarya all around, so looking for the early grabs. Where's the early damage as well? Kaidi and Ruff both getting chunked out.
Yeah, gonna have to play a little bit more cautiously, and that's been a window of opportunity for Pelican, and I mean, it's now a bit more than a window of opportunity. It's actually a window that's been smashed open, and now O2 Blast are rummaging through your drawers, trying to find your valuables. Top Honor getting absolutely steamrolled there, and it felt like that was actually just a beat in the fight where Top Honor could back off and just lick their wounds for a second while O2 Blast gained ground, but no, it ended up being an absolute stomp.
That's a breaking and entering by O2 Blast, and they're going to get the deed to the 8-point as well, take it home from you. Top Honor just kind of licking their wounds at B. What ultimates they have? Early Coalescence, so does Finn on the other side, but we're looking at Pelican. What's he got?
This is a very aggressive move from O2 Blast, and it almost pays off, and now unfortunately faltered because Proper was able to get more damage in those confined spaces with the Coalescence at his back as well. But I mean, Top Honor were off to an okay start there, but now O2 Blast just preserving momentum.
And I do believe that Top Honor kind of changing up their tempo is important. You don't want to allow Pelican to set up. Again, O2 Blast, because you're playing a Sombra-based composition, they need to make sure that Pelican is in the right places, off angles, manual hack positions, get behind Kaidi's shield. That's how you're going to succeed with a Sombra. Top Honor can't allow that to happen, so they've got to go fast.
That's a big pick onto Proper early, though, and that
Nice
could actually
shatter.
be a window. Nice Earth Shatter from Kaidia, and they've just kind of pulled one out of nowhere. They didn't really have a lot of ultimates aside from that Earth Shatter. O2 Blast, in theory, should have been able to outfight Top Honor there, but off the back of that, Top Honor should be able to finish charging some very critical ultimates here.
That's what I'm talking about. Something about being given lemons there for Kaidi, and this is what they've got to work with. If the Top
She
Honor...
cast NA Contenders.
True. Just got your reference. Very well
Thank
played.
you.
Top Honor, look, they had not a lot of time to play, though. I was saying, look, they need to be a lot faster here. They can't allow Pelican to get in position. That's exactly what happened. But now I'm looking at Pelican again. He's got time to get in there deep.
Yakpiln is just so willing to get aggressive, barrels on forward with the healing at his back. It opens the way for Proper to get such an impressive 4K off the Death Blossom, and then one just with the shotguns onto Sparrow. I feel like O2 Blast are enabling Yakpung in a way that Top Honor cannot deal with and cannot match.
And this time around, I mean, Top Honor were not quite as quick to the mark. O2 Blast were very fast with their rotations, very fast with moving forward. Kalios in the great position.
Speaking of fast, Pelican, it doesn't even matter that he's stuck in a grab. It might just now, actually, with Yakpung also down. The counter grab from Slush has pulled a bit of weight, but they need to deal with Proper. They can't just rely on Ruff to pull out the big plays when needed. Was that not an environmental kill? Where did they go? What just happened?
I'm pretty sure Ruff had a TP, so he shadow stepped back onto the point, still alive now. Where's Pelican? I'm still waiting for the EMP, but they don't need to use it.
Ruff did finally die. It wasn't actually an environmental kill, but it was still a boot from a Lucio. O2 Blast, I mean, we're seeing how much work Proper can do for them, and we complimented Ruff. I feel like Proper has had the greater presence on Reaper.
And that's the thing, because I think also at the same time, O2 Blast as a team have been playing cleaner, they've been tighter. Proper knows as well, the role super well, working with Pelican as well to secure kills, who, by the way, still waiting for this EMP. They haven't needed it, but now they're finally going to drop it.
And look at how quickly they kill Slush as well. The target prioritization is so clean from O2 Blast. Top Honor, oh, that's a really late Earth Shatter to commit from Kaidia, and not a particularly good one either. Just going to go straight into the shield of Yakpung, and O2 Blast looking pretty much unstopped. Might even have a better time than what they actually had against Runaway here.
Kaidia, by the way, has had some great Earth Shatters, and he was banking on another one. Didn't quite happen from Kalios, though. Looking for the cleanup.
It's going to be a grab out from Kalios. They don't quite get the work. He goes down. That's a good pickup for Ruff, and this is where Top Honor can start to predicate a defense upon. Ruff looking to push forward, looking to find an angle in. They do find Yakpung as well. Now looking to run down and shut down Proper at long last. They will only just get the 3 by the looks of things. O2 Blast are going to be able to back the rest of the members out, but Top Honor maybe a little bit more dug in this time around.
And part of the problem there for O2 Blast was Kalios used the grab super early. You
Pelican.
can see that he used it. Well, Pelican was just looking for extra ult charge. They're backing out anyway, so not a problem there. They'll wait for him. But Kalios, if he didn't use his Graviton in the choke point, they would have allowed Top Honor to push a little bit more forward, get behind Kaidia's shield, and get the damage. But because they didn't have any flanks, they didn't have any damage potential versus the shield, the grab ended up not doing that much because they had a full HP shield to contend with. Top Honor lives through that one and get the defense going. Pelican didn't have the EMP, will be looking for it now.
With that, Top Honor might just be in the better position. That's going to be an early sound barrier. Good shatter out from Yakpung, but he's still taking so much heat despite the extra health from the sound barrier. Good EMP from Pelican allows them to trade off Ruff, but honestly, Top Honor, they've still got some pretty deep pockets, and following up on that grab means they are able to flatten O2 Blast, who actually invested a huge number of ultimates into that fight.
And they caught a lot of members as well. I've noticed that Pelican actually dropped the EMP on a lot of members, including Sparrow, who had an ultimate he was trying to use but was shattered. And then there was EMP, he just wasn't allowed to play the game. O2 Plus needed to clean up members. They got one, but they couldn't convert further. If they got more, they would have pushed further. Kalios gets a grab, and that's how they finished the map. But Carter's been pulling backwards, and that's a real issue for O2 Blast.
Top Honor, same play here. They just want to give themselves the room to work with. They want to force O2 Blast to fight through a Molten Core when the time is right. Kalios will have a grab, but that is all they will have to work with. Is now there's the push forward. The Molten Core is a manual hack, but it wasn't quite in time. They do still finish off Spirit, but it's not where they want it to be. It is not in a choke point. O2 Blast can just kind of wait it out and par the round, and now they push back in with a numbers advantage.
It's up to
Respawn
Kaidia.
will come in. Kaidia, the Earth Shatter, does not get the work done. He gets drilled down now. It is a 5v6, 4v6 now as O2 Blast with proper guns trained firmly on every member of Top Honor, all angles at once. It's just boom, 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 or indeed blast, as O2 will cross the finish line with just over a minute remaining.
And it's the timing once again. Pixie Kalios getting the ultimate, getting the grab before any sound barriers can respond to it. Finn using the coalescence to get his team in there, pushing with the coal, getting in a full straight line, marching towards the point with your card, allowing Kalios to get aggressive to get the grab in there. This is the kind of timing play, the kind of aggression play that you need from O2 Blast. Then comboing that with Proper's Death Blossom later on. That's how you're going to get in there, surviving against Spear's Molten Core despite the manual hack not stopping it. O2 Blast incrementally taking small steps but very big individual important steps, significant steps to be able to get towards the finish line and get the cap across.
That being said, I will give them credit where it's due. They actually burned a lot of time off the clock. I said for a moment that O2 Blast were looking like they were going to get a better time than what they even got against Runaway, but Top Honor did at least change that narrative towards the later sections of the third point. So if they can get a decent offense here, at least take it to some kind of time bank, they won't actually be at too much of a deficit to have a chance. I do still see a world where Top Honor can win this because, need I remind you, they did have a good offense on their own icon boulder.
And I think they need a lot of momentum. O2 Blast don't want to be playing a sort of composition that is going to rely on Pelican to try and get off angles this time. They're just going to put Pelican onto the Reaper. Proper instead is now going to be on the Torb instead of the Reaper. That'll be really interesting because Proper's done such a great job on the Reaper specifically. Also want to say that Neko, lucky to have his life there because Ruff could have connected the headshot and that would have been the 6v5.
It's actually going to be a full mirror matchup as well with both teams running the Reaper and the Torbjorn, and oh, that's an early death.
And one team doesn't have a rhyme.
That's a big oof.
In the chat.
No two ways about it.
O2 Blast, I mean, that's pretty comfortable. Look, if that was the other way around, Top Honor will be capping right now. But because they're attacking, they don't lose anymore. There's no exit frags this time for O2 Blast. Pelican's in a decent spot, though, for extra damage if he doesn't get spotted out. But for Top Honor, you'll take that one. That's an easy loss and you don't lose that much.
What there is, though, is the ultimate charge disparity, but that's a big pickup fighting Pelican early, and now Ruff with the wrap around looking to drill down some damage on these tanks as they go into full retreat because Top Honor are massively on the front foot. Ruff wants to get aggressive. They want to bottle up proper. He's going to find the second DPS of this go-around, finds Yakpung too, and finally, we're seeing the Ruff that we saw against Lucky Future. We're seeing what he's capable of when he is enabled. Top Honor, that first lost fight might just have been a little bit of a speed bump because now they are capping this time.
He's rough, tough, and buff. He finds Pelican in the hiding spot where Reapers will typically hide. He knows exactly where to go, converts to further kills as well. Teleports super deep, super aggressive. Obviously not going to get punished this time around because O2 Blast are completely separated in the middle of a fight, and he just gets all the kills. Proper's down as well, and Top Honor get that cap.
And that's so critical as well from the perspective of turning around that ultimate charge situation. There's now very few members on O2 Blast seriously leading Top Honor. The main one is Yakpung, but honestly that Earth Shatter might not be the most impactful ultimate. You're looking more at things like the Grab, things like the Death Blossom, and in that regard Top Honor are looking healthy.
And Lovely's nearly has a sound barrier. Neko does not quite have one yet. Teams looking like they want to commit.
Big. And as I say it, with the charge on ultimates where it needed to be for Top Honor, some things were just a fraction of a hair behind. The Molten Core not quite there where it was for Proper. The Grab not quite there where it was for Kalios. And with that, O2 Blast going to put a real stopper on Top Honor.
And that's an issue because momentum is such a big deal going into Eichenwalde. You want to finish the map, you want to have a competitive time back. Top Honor can't have many of these resets if they want to get that going for them.
Big commit from O2 Blast. Again, they're looking to get aggressive, looking to get proactive. This is what Top Honor were so good at dealing with last time around, and they have seemed to have done so, but that's massive! The Death Blossom out from Pelican. A decent shatter from Kaidi to try and keep things alive, but Yakpung, speaking of alive, has stayed up through this entire affair despite getting so low and so pressured. I mean, they're getting a bit of progress now, but good heavens, I feel like that should have been Top Honor's fight.
Top Honor barely won this one. You give them the W because they're pushing the car now and O2 Blast are resetting. But it was tough. It was hard. But Proper going down means the 6v5, you expect Top Honor to be able to win.
That's a big reset robber there. O2 Blast are not going to get the kind of fight they need. They're going to have to commit him with a sound barrier, but it might even be enough now that they have the Grab as well. But you don't want to fight totally onto that Molten Core.
Slush
Lovely's
lives.
down. So many members low though, and without Lovely's, they're not going to be able to get Slush healthy again. And unfortunately, O2 Blast didn't really eat enough pressure there for Top Honor to do much. So what should have been a great start with a pick on Proper, I feel like they expected O2 Blast to back off in a way that they did not.
And they got the sound barrier early. O2 Blast were in a position where they knew, okay, we either just all die here because Top Honor are walking into us, or we are going to counter aggression with the sound barrier play, which is exactly what they did. Top Honor was still waiting for Graviton Surge. Slush was so close. If he lives, he grabs, and they can still win, but he will use it now.
I feel like O2 Blasters really know their limits in these fights. That's the Shatter. That's going to be a brilliantly placed Molten Core and a massive cleanup once again from O2 Blast, who, like I said, it feels like they know their limits, and it feels like they also just have a better tab on the shape of these fights compared to Top Honor, who feel like they are seldom connecting ultimates in a meaningful way.
This is a tough place for an attacking team to be as well, by the way, because they have not reached the bridge, which means they have not opened the alternative flanking paths in a safe manner. They don't control the map. They have not opened the map up, and they need to focus on that to give them the positioning if they actually want to get some good cap on here, because they're running out of time. They're losing so much time that, realistically, you can't expect them to have a competitive time back anymore.
O2 Blast, honestly, just looking solid, looking like the better of the two teams, and that's not entirely unexpected. As now the play comes, early catch onto Ruff, and how many times is it going to happen? O2 Blast, they have the better play, they have the better handle on the fight. The positioning is cleaner, is tighter. They know exactly where Top Honor are trying to go, and what was Top Honor's strength against Lucky Future is kind of starting to feel like their weakness against O2 Blast.
Speaking of strengths, I mean, we saw so many great shatters from Kaidi, but those are whiffing now because you even have players like Kalios, his POV we watched, he bubbles instinctively, just knows the shadows coming through, blocks it on himself. The only member that got caught by Kaidi was actually Neko. He got cleaned up by Spera, but that was the only kill that Top Honor got. Other than that, they were completely pushed back, didn't have the responses. Baxton and Lovely's didn't have their ultimates. They finally have the Coalescence now, but they are running out of time again, going for the long flank.
Top Honor Not a whole lot to work with here. Double Coalescence, Beam Battle out as they all walk over a Molten Core. Unfortunately, that's all she wrote for Kaidia. And O2 Blast just have more ultimates to use. Not that they'll even need to use them at this rate. Top Honor, they need to take an L quickly here, to be honest. And they may just get one last go.
And even on that one last go, what resources do they have? They use the Coalescence here. Lovely's just going to have the counter. They have the safety. But they need a lot more than that because you have Pelican sitting on a Death Blossom. You have Kalios on nearly another Grav here. Similar to Slush, I guess, that's something that maybe Top Honor can really rely on if the fight goes long enough, but O2 Blast simply has more, and even if Top Honor win, they still got to push.
They may well just be on track for the second from Top Honor at this rate, with just under 10 seconds to go, now only 5. Top Honor really trying to make their way in, but once again, O2 Blast, they have the better read on the fight. They're in a more strengthened position, and also, they just have way more ultimates. Sound barriers to match to start with, but that means Kalios gets a free grab. That's a nice shatter as well, just layering it all on top of it, slathering it on thick. It's buttercream on top of fondant. And with that, O2 Blast are going to shut down the last gasp from Top Honor on Icon.
It's been a while since we've seen Hanamura. I think the first one so far of the 2020 season. This could be the last of this week, if O2 Blast have anything to say about it. My real question here is if anything changes at all in terms of compositions. My gut says no. My instinct says that teams are going to stick to what they know. And what they know is, for the most part, most of the same comp, play the Tourbillons, play the Sombras, and it does appear that Top Honor want to give Spirit a bit of a try on that.
So your gut says no. My gut says I ate too much chili.
My mind is telling me no.
But my gut is telling me also no. All right.
Oh boy.
Oh gosh, that's a terrifying view of Apache Mari. Gates open, O2 Blast, let's go, 3-0. As much as I want to see Top Honor do it, I also, in equal measure, really want O2 Blast to finally have their day in the sun.
And they're going to get a little bit of action here with Proper on a Symmetra. Now, this Symmetra setup could be really good, but they got to get on the point. The teleporter already failed. Yakpung's in trouble.
Slush and Ruff as well are in massive trouble. I mean, it's kind of worked out for them. They just kept a lid on those tanks, and Backskin and Lovely's never really, that's Backskin rather. Backskin is quite different. They never really had the angle to keep the tanks topped off, unfortunately.
And by the way, Proper just had the best ever DPS experience as a Symmetra, where his tanks took all of the pressure. No one even looked or shot at Proper. That was basically the dream scenario for any Symmetra player now as they walk into this B point.
It's the old free real estate, but Proper manually hacked out. This one's not looking like it's going to be as smooth unless Pelican has something to say about it. So, again, just drilling down those tanks. The pressure is all there. They are really aware of where they need to apply the pressure above all else. It's like some kind of surgical sledgehammer. It hits you very hard, but very precisely. And I feel like that may be close to some kind of record.
Wow, that was a one and done as quick as you like, and that was faster, multiplied by the fact that you have a Symmetra that can teleport you across the ditch on the left side attacker's perspective to get you right on the point. I mean, Top Honor didn't even have time to respond. O2 Blast were right on the point. Proper looked like he was in trouble. He was manual hacked out, like you said. He was on basically 1 HP for a while there as well, but then he got pocketed by Finn. He got healed up Coalescence as well. Again, just the dream scenario for a Symmetra player, because in all other cases, Symmetra shows up, she instantly dies because she's so weak in a lot of fights.
Correct me if I'm wrong, is that 1 minute and 8 seconds?
Possibly.
I mean, I want someone to get the time on that, because, I mean, that is so slick. That is so fast.
That's the VOD I'm going to watch back. To be honest with you, that one was pretty disgusting, and it wasn't even a clean start.
Out the stopwatch.
Let's be honest. O2 Blast even had a hiccup there, where their teleporter got taken out super early. That ended up being the silver lining because it allowed Proper to come into the fight late, with no pressure. And that just meant he got the drill everyone down. Now Sparrow's thinking, do I go the Symmetra as well? Is Hanamura just going to be Symmetra stats all round? How do O2 Blast counter this one? They're going to run Proper onto the Torb instead.
Top Honor have such a lot of work cut out for them. Like, let's be real. You're pretty much never going to match O2 Blast's time. What you need to do is get a big time and then have a much better defense the next go around. It's so much of that.
Lovely's is
Lovely's already
down.
down.
I mean, that's a big problem for them because now they're going to be behind in the ult charge in that regard.
Also, the push is just slower. Yakpung, a lot of pressure, but Slush not quite able to finish him off. In fact, ring around the rosy. Slush is going to get finished off before Yakpung even dies. In fact, Yakpung isn't even going to die. This is unbelievable from O2 Blast.
Yep.
Top Honor almost tunnel visioning on these low members, not appreciating the full scope of the fight. The fact that Yakpung is just sitting pretty with all these DPSs either side of Slush, drilling him down while he desperately tries to get the last few shots behind the Reinhardt shield.
They need to know how and where to take these fights, and the Symmetra jiggers up. Spear is now going to be on the Doomfist. If you're going to play Symmetra, you got to know how to rotate, because we saw Spear go down there to Symmetra, something that didn't happen to Proper. Now O2 Blast can continue holding forward. They have ultimates to play. Pelican's got high ground. He's even got eyes and lovelies right now.
Pelican able to get into the back line there, looking to put some pressure on Baxen, but with that coalescence, he knows he can't just stand right down the middle of it. Still, it's a lot of damage being washed across the rest of Top Honor, and despite both Reinhardts being low, it's only Cardia that goes down because, again, Pelican just has the better angle, has the better positioning, and has more options to unload on the tanks of Top Honor.
You're about to see a very critical fight. This is going to be a full reset for Top Honor now, but both tanks are about to get their ultimates. Two main tanks here. Your question is, why is there an Orisa and a Ryan at the same time? The answer there is because you want the Orisa to combo with your Doomfist. You want the holds to be there for a number of reasons, and that is going to be a make or break for Top Honor because they have ults now, and they got to use them. This should be their push.
And if this one doesn't work, then you really have to start asking questions. Will it ever really happen?
Oh,
and already Lovely's down. Yakpung, early death, but it's answered. It's matched, in fact, and no mileage out of those ultimates for Top Honor, unfortunately for them.
And this is where O2 Blast just to get more of a cleanup. Slush is down now as well. Cardia went down earlier. You even had an Earth Shatter scenario there where, okay, Cardia goes down, doesn't really get enough done to get O2 Blast members away. Yakpung managed to hold on to his 4 ultimates available, nearly 5 with Proper for O2, 130 remaining, and O2 are in such high control.
It feels like it is all going to end in tears at this point for Top Honor for what has been such a strong performance so far. They're just unable to make any headway. O2 Blast are leagues and leagues ahead on not only this defense, but also their ridiculously fast offense. This is an absolute outclassing in every sense of the word.
In 1 minute, it will be a full hold that O2 Blast will be able to cap off the Week 2 of Contenders with the Claimer Grand Final. I'll say it right now, they look so dominant. 5 ultimates, nearly got the full stack with Pelican. That'll be all 6 lights out for Top Honor. And this is a position now where Top Honor get a shutout. They don't even touch the point. They don't get a single percentage point.
And to that end, it feels like maybe it's not going to end in a bang, but in some kind of slow grind and whimper out as the grab into the fight win. They tried to get tricky with Ruff, using that reposition to get onto the point itself, but even then that was responded to and answered. 30 seconds left in Top Honor. They don't even have fumes in the tank at this point.
That would be a worthwhile reset in a full team wipe. If Ruff actually gets 1 tick there, doesn't manage to complete the tick, so ultimately not great. They do get ultimates out of O2 Blast, but that's the only thing they work with, and they don't have an advantage, even though they got used.
They're going to go in one last dance. The sound barrier out first, matched by Neko. A huge shatter from the side from Yakpung in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Second from the Top Honor. O2 Blast 3-0. Finally, top dog in Korean Contenders. It is their day in the sunshine. They have reaped everything they have sowed across so long, even counting week 1 that was a bit of a false start for this team. It feels like we are finally seeing the O2 Blast that is built to make 2020 their year.